we're viewing the transition. And this transition is not something that we've been, no, let me back up. We have been saying this and a part of this for decades, and we've been talking like this. It ain't nothing different. I'm not saying anything different than what we've been saying all along. But it starts with the foundation and it's building up higher and higher. So everything we've been talking about is now an expression that everybody can see. And remember, like they used to have those saying, I'm going to go all the way through. Well, we're here, we're going through right on. We're not buckling, we're not blinking. Now you have to pay attention to where we're coming from and what we look like. We're not blinking at all with Boss Man. We're not saying, oh, Boss Man, we're getting a little tired. We ain't saying nothing like that. We're saying, Boss Man, you better get on board with us because pretty soon it's going to be late. That's what we're saying, and that's what we mean. And you know what? That is exactly what's happening. It's exactly what's happening. It's been happening. Okay? So the long game with visionary Negroes, longevity and protracted Negroes. All of those things, when we studied rebellion, revolution, we picked out parts that would fit us. So when we studied Chairman Mao and all of that, one of his things was protracted. But his protracted, we would call it medium range protracted. 20s, 30s, and 40s. Our protracted, we're already in the 50th, up in the 50 years of our and far as the Islamic movement, we're well over 40 years of specific protracted. And since 1986, we showed y'all a thing, when they stole our accordion folders and they stole all that, we said big victory. Big victory, that's 1986. Good God Almighty, what is that, 35 years ago or something? 35 years ago. So when we talk about protracted, we have to really mean it. And you have to have patience to carry it all along that way. But what does it do? Boss Man, he used to hitting people and knocking them out. He can't carry a fight that long. That's why Boss Man is getting confused and everything. And we're confusing him. That's why we having to make up all these phony things about Boss Man, because they're true. We're making them true. Because we used a term about George Foreman before. Remember George Foreman he's so tough, he was used to knocking everybody out, man. He'd never went over five rounds. Right? So Muhammad Ali tussled around at him. When he got up to 5 rounds, he started talking to George. You know, all that rope-a-dope stuff? Look at 6th and 7th round. He was just doing like this, like washing clothes. Just think about it. Muhammad Ali already knew he had him then. But he waited till he really had him. When he come out in round number 8, I think it was just all over. He had fought him, punched himself out. Boss Man punched himself out a long time ago. Boss Man punched himself out, but he didn't know. And the more he listened to the Zionists, the more he got punched out. If Boss Man had any sense, he would have quit in Korea. He would have quit, especially Vietnam. He didn't. He came back, and for the Zionists, he went in first they encouraged the Gulf War, 1980 to 1988, between Iran and Iraq War, we call that. But 91 was for the U.S. to gain its. They beat Saddam so bad that we didn't broke the Vietnam syndrome. You remember them? They were just blasted away. That's okay. That's okay. That's fine. You know what he needed? He needed that. He needed a strip of arrogance. So what he did, the Russians got run out of Afghanistan, and it just, and they know better. Why did they go in Afghanistan? That was 20 years ago. Why would they do that? They went in there, and at first they just straightened everything out, killed everybody, blew everything up. And then said, fine, weapons of mass destruction. We didn't kick these jokers behind. Let's go on in here. And they went in, and they wrapped up Iraq. That's why we get a chance to rebuild with 21st century technology. We're not going to build them old brick, same stuff, earthquake prone. How? No, why should we? So we can rebuild Iraq. We can rebuild Syria. We can rebuild Lebanon. We could put the latest in water projects everywhere. We can do agriculture like they're doing it in Iran. We can share water. We can do all of that. Because we got specialists now that study all of that. But at the meantime, look what happened. Boss man destroyed Iraq. And they have destroyed a lot of the infrastructure. Look at it, the hospitals, everything in Yemen. Those are very bad things that they're doing. But it gives us, since it's destroyed, we got to rebuild. So let's do our research and rebuild it in the best way with the best available resources that we have, material and everything. And we don't have to have walls this thick and no more. We can reinforce them and have them just whatever we want to do, right? It's up to us, right? We can rebuild everything now that takes full advantage. In fact, we can solar energy everything. You got to think about it. Iran starts to build solar energy, then they transfer the technology over to Iraq, and then to every other, to Syria. So all your rebuilding, even if it's with Chinese help. Yeah, sure, no problem. Going along with this, we believe there's going to have to be some process of tazkiyah with China and Russia. With China and Russia. And if they don't do it, we'll just get the physical benefits and what have you, and, you know, then they'll go down right after Boss Man. Because this is a new, talking about new world order, this is a new period. Okay, let me try to speed up a little bit. Look like it's getting dark. So we train for this special mission. We call it Deep Soul. This is how it's done. What we're doing right now, this is how it's done. For America, everybody is bootlicking and scared, right? And it'll come a time when these will not be isolated and cut off, but they'll be the most popular videos in the United States. We'll wait till that time, and that's what they're going to be. Nothing they can do about it, but it'll show that we've been where we are all along, and the way the world is going, that world that they hope for is not real, right? If they were getting all their money, a lot of their help from Saudi Arabia and from them other places, those people have turned strictly into Zionist puppets against the poor Palestinians. Who's the only one? It's Hezbollah and it's Iran. Working, ceaselessly for Palestinians. And the people of Yemen are celebrating, as bad as they got it, they still got enough nerve to stand up for the brothers in Palestine. That is the ethics and morals that's needed, and everybody on our team is showing big time. Don't mean they perfect, but everybody on our team, or we're on their team, right, is showing high standard of morals and ethics. And everybody is walking by and handing them or mailing them in the mail, sending them strength. And I'm telling you, that's because, see, at certain times, doing what's right gets you favor with Allah and the believers. And sometimes doing what's right gets that too. And it also is the right time in history. Yeah. What's happening right now is a big deal. It's a big deal. If we was thinking about what we would have liked to have seen 40 years ago, this is a dream. Well, we have a strategic alliance. You got to remember, we was holding on with Iran when it wasn't nobody. Well, Syria was they was just not against it. But now we got that whole string. And let's remember, everybody's watching. It's not big brain scrubbing issues now. Everybody can see. Okay. But I'll be brief with this. What we want to do is get everybody involved. Remember we talked about blockade running. We talked about all of that. The food, we got to get the other Arab. It looks like if Iran has to handle it by itself, it looks like it's doing a good job. I don't know where in the world. And now the dummies, you talking about blessing. Britain messed up. They did it on purpose. They Brexit stuff, and they can't get no oil. And Germany and everybody is, guess what? The oil prices is going through the roof, right? Now, do you think if you can get oil $10 cheaper, and that's a whole shipload, that's millions of dollars, right? You're going to buy it, and you got good oil too, good quality oil. And Venezuela got good oil, good sweet oil. The only people got better is Libya. Yeah. Who are they going to take? You can see, can you see how Allah is arranging all of this stuff? There's no central Islamic headquarters that have authority to put all of this package together. But everybody is doing what it appears to be right, and everybody that's wrong is being put out. So the same people that was causing us trouble, you know what I mean? I mean, our allies right here out of the Iranians, it's different now. Remember, I said over 40 years ago, I went and I spent time in Iran. I spent time in Iran. And one of my best friends was one of the best brothers who was older. He died from, I didn't even know he had, from poison gas. Because when we was at a big demonstration, it wasn't a demonstration. You know when they got the flags waving and they got people goose stepping and walking up. Well, I used to be at those type of things, and I would be the main speaker to the Army, because my friends was colonels, and the colonel pretty is up there. So I told them, this is what's happening with your homeboys. And I had a couple of people come that I have never seen since and didn't know who they was then. But as I was explaining it to our brother, he was translating it to them. And everything that happens right now, it looks like that somebody got the message.